Let's break the mold and stop waiting for the other shoe to drop. Welcome to Stanley on 7. We're here until it's here.
All right, welcome back. This is Stanley on 7th, your favorite Wild podcast. I'm Ryan Carter. We have a special guest in-house today. We'll get to him in a minute. We got John King, Commando John King, and the special guest in the house, one of Minnesota Wild's all-time greats, Nate Prossessor. Pross, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, guys.
You look good. Pebble Beach swag. You've been doing a lot of golfing now that you're done playing?
Well, it's my dad's like fourth kid is golf. It's his favorite hobby. So he goes on probably 10 to 15 golf trips a winter. And he's like, Nate, if you're, not doing much, let's, come on a few. So I've been able to go on 4 golf trips this winter, and Pebble is one of them. Is unbelievable.
So are you on scholarship? Does he say come and then he just flips the bill, or how does that work?
Yeah, for the most part, it's yeah.
Yeah, I'm free.
Yeah.
Private jets or commercial?
One was private.
Really?
Yeah, Pebble was private. We flew it on Coburn's private plane, and
Jesus.
Yeah, it was the high life.
Coburn, like the grocery store?
Yes. Yep.
Oh,
Chris Coburn.
He works with them or what?
He's we're just friends of friends, and he's good buddies with Greg Kerr with Kemp's, and Greg is buddies with Chris Coburn, and it's kind of all connected.
John, do you have a plane?
I don't have a plane.
I'm gonna have to find better buddies.
Hey, are you nervous? It's well known that Ryan and I have great chemistry.
Yeah.
Almost like Kirill and Zuccarello. Are you kind of nervous today that you might? I guess Hartman's doing pretty well, but do you feel like a little nervous for this?
I would say a little bit. Maybe you can match me up with Hartman.
Well, God, what a treat. What do you make of this year's Wild squad? Are you after being an NHLer, do you become a fan, or is it sort of weird? What's it like when you're watching a team, your old team?
Yeah, I mean, it's different. I've gone down to 2 games at the XL Energy Center. It was super weird going down there. I got there early because I was with my nephews, and I brought my 2 older daughters, and we went down for warm-ups. And I'm just like, holy crap! How weird is it? Staying here watching these guys have a good time singing their songs during warm-ups and goofing off. And but no, I'm definitely a fan now that it's over. I like turning the Wild on while I'm making dinner, and having them on after I get the kids down for bed. And it's definitely a different vibe this year with this team. They're scoring a lot of goals, and that's different than the Wild teams that I was a part of. We were more, I mean, even Karts knows, we're fine winning 2-1. We liked being that defensive stalwart type teams, and now it's more. I mean, hockey's changing in that way where you got to have 4 lines that can score, and the Wild have that this year.
Warm-ups is a great reference. Going to the Excel and being there a half hour early, and it's 5 deep, watching warm-ups on the Wild side.
Yeah.
I mean, when it was always, Sid's in town, or Ovi, and now it is like party time at watching them all warm up. I went into the Minnesotan yesterday. They got this Grief Line shirt. They got a Flower Power T-shirt. It's like the traveling circus of rock star goodness. It's unreal.
Yeah.
And Wild fans, the sign game is risen.
Yes.
They've got some good signs, and people come with the posters, slap them on the glass. And if you catch one of the guys' attention, they interact with it.
Yep.
So that's been huge for it too. Warm-ups, guys coming in, you get a good sign, maybe in Russian, Kirill interacts with it. Why wouldn't you go?
There's way more interaction now than when what I remember.
So I remember being almost afraid to interact with fans. You're not, you don't have your game face on a little bit. Everything's way more laid back now, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you probably don't want your coaches and, GMs watching and seeing you goofing around and not, engaging and being prepared for the game, and that's maybe what I was more worried about. And now it's there's when I went, there was probably 50 signs down on just plastered up against the glass and guys smiling and throwing pucks. I mean, there was pucks being thrown over when we were there, but it's just like so much more of that interaction.
So I want to ask you this, because you touched on when we played, it was more like we want to win 3-1 versus like, all right, let's go score 6 kind of thing, like the Wild are at now.
He said 2-1.
2-1.
See how he just is like
One up?
He's basically he's not even asking you a question. He's just trying to like clean up a little bit. Like, hey, when we played,
well, if Preezy listens to this, he won't like being told like, hey, we wanted to win 2-1.
Right.
You know, he wanted to go.
Well, he already got you.
It was 3.
Was it 3 or 4-1?
It was 2-1 with an empty netter. So that's Zach Parise.
Okay.
So it's
All right.
3-1.
Fine. Go Mavericks.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Speaking of, we'll have to get to that.
Yep.
But the D, so I think a lot of the offense comes from the defense core now and kind of the green light they all have to jump up in the play. I look at a guy like Middleton, he was a stay home in San Jose, sitting next to Erik Karlsson. Like, your job is to just like hold this blue line and make sure that, you know, they're not having 2-on-0s the other way, right? Like, be good against a 2-on-1 kind of thing, right? Yeah. But now, like, he's even jumping up in the play and he's scoring. And how much of it is the system and the green light that the D get?
Yeah, I think it's that's just the way the game's going. It's almost like you have to be, what's that animal? Like a chameleon. Yeah, where you knew what I was thinking.
Dude,
exactly.
Now,
holy crap!
Hey,
I cannot believe you thought of that.
I feel like
I cannot believe you just threw that out.
I'm kind of like, I think it's kind of, we're the duo now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
You better shave, Hartman.
Yeah.
Get out the razor.
Yeah. But your game has to kind of shift with the times. And if you're just a stay-at-home defensive defenseman that's not involved and not getting into the play, I think your days are probably numbered. I mean, how many of those defensemen are left, really? I mean, even guys that, I watched the Avalanche. Do they have one guy that's like doesn't get points? That's,
no, but I think that will cost them eventually. I talk about the game being cyclical, where it's like Colorado's trying to build like this super fast skill team that can score 6, and then the Wild kind of counter it, where they want to be big, heavy, punchy in the mouth in 7 games. I think we can get you. I do think that eventually the shutdown guy will come back, because every team's looking for the Zach Bogosian and some of these guys, like the veteran number 5, 6 guy that's steady on the back end and can just count on you to defend.
Be great on the PK and shut down. And
at some point, you have to be able to stop somebody from scoring, right? Yeah. And a lot of these guys at Colorado, they've probably got good sticks and they can skate and they do some of the stuff. But when playoff hockey and the game changes, the makeup of what they need is a little bit different, I think. And no, it's intriguing, but I think the Wild have a really good mix of it, because you've got guys like Middleton, who looks super scary. Let's get into the mustache stuff coming out of this. Yeah, he looks super scary, but now he's got the freedom to jump up into the play and make some plays. Yeah.
I mean, he's having success here recently. I mean, he's playing with Spurge, where, he's jumping all the time. Right. You'd think like one of them would need to be the stay-at-home type of guy. But, recently it looks like he's been jumping in the play a little bit more. But no, I think that's a good point where, the game is going in that direction, but it's still, once playoffs come around, you see the teams that win the Stanley Cup. It's still those, the bigger, bruisers. The bruisers that who can bruise a guy in the corner, who can box a guy out. When Mark Stone and Max Pacioretty go to the net, who's big enough and strong enough to keep those guys out of the blue paint. And maybe the game will go back to that. But I still think like the Stanley Cup winners, like there's a reason why Tampa keeps winning cups, and the reason why Montreal went to the Stanley Cup finals last year. I mean, Shea Weber, Ben Chariot, Joel Edmondson, and Jeff Petrie. I mean, those 4 guys are monsters.
Yeah.
Like it's
then you
still
got Victor
takes
Hedman, Bogosian, some of those guys down in
Ryan
Tampa.
McDonough. Yeah, for sure.
So you were very skilled from a mustache standpoint. Interesting you don't have one now, but almost I would say a Super Troopers level mustache is what you used to have.
I'm around a lot of kids now. That's why.
Well played. So there's a couple stashes in the Wild room, and I would just like your take on them. And I don't want to lead you, but I want you to really I think there's an easy answer and a hard answer here. I want to know what your real answer is. So all year, Johnny Merrill has had this, it's really a strange mustache. It's kind of patchworked. It looks like It really does look like
Joe Dirt.
rubber cement.
Yeah.
Like he took
Kinda just
clippings
slapped on.
off of the barber floor and just like went like that. And then this new sheriff rides into town on the horse from wherever.
San Jose.
Yeah, San Jose. And he's your Huckleberry, right? He comes in. What's your take on the two mustaches? Are you more traditional Wyatt Earp, Middleton, or are you more like,
Joe
I've
Dirt.
never really seen this scouring pad before. Where are you at?
No, I like it more Middleton-esque.
Okay.
I think it needs to be full and kind of flush.
That's because that's your DNA.
Yeah, it is.
So you're a blue blood.
A guy that
You're a
always
blue
had
blood.
it on our team when I was going through was Cal Clutterbuck, and his was
Yes.
he had a good Caterpillar.
Clark
going on there.
Gable.
Yeah. So I always kind of looked up to him, and we'd always do the Movember, and he rocked it when it wasn't November. It was kind of a year-round deal for him, and
He was one of the first people I saw have fun during warm-ups because
yes,
he would slick the hair. He would do that
man.
weird bull thing where he
Yeah.
would bounce into the glass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
he had some
surprised you saw
juice.
that. Yeah.
I love the Clark Gable, like the wet hair and the
Yeah.
mustache. And he was like a weirdo. And it wasn't interacting. It wasn't like rock, paper, scissors. It was like he was a bull in the pen
Yeah.
working through his own stuff.
No, I mean, he still had his game face on, but yeah, he would like kind of make sure his hair looked good in the glass, like slick back. The mustache is all in form. Like that's more his style.
Yeah, I used to see him. I saw him once at Crave in the Mall of America. That's a little unexpected NHL, like doing some dirty work. Maybe the hotel was attached. I don't know what he was doing, but yeah, he was and he ended up that identity line for the Islanders. I mean, they had a run too.
Wow, that was amazing. They
Unbelievable.
kept him during the expansion draft, and a lot of people were like, how do you lose Eberle, I believe, and some of these other guys and keep Cal Clutterbuck?
Yeah.
And I think it comes down to, he is similar to
It's like this,
the grief
right?
line.
Yeah,
in that
it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
that he helps form an identity that they need to have to play. And the way I understand it is in the Island, they picked pairs of players that they wanted to keep, and then they exposed one guy from each line, kind of. And he was one of the pairs that helped form the identity of that line, where they could plug something else in there.
Him and Cizikas.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then they
I
could plug
loved
something
watching
else in.
that line.
Yeah.
They were awesome.
Yeah. No, they've had a lot of success here recently too. I mean, they score points too. I mean, it's not like they're just like straight shutdown PKers. Like it seems like they chip in every now and then. Cizikas for sure.
So the Wild locker room is buzzing right now. And Middleton has even said it's the most fun he's had playing hockey. But do you think that there could be a mustache controversy? Like maybe he's feeling good right now because Johnny Merrill was out 5-6 games with an injury. So his mustache was kind of like the go-to stash. There was no competition.
Merrill's on the training table,
Yeah.
like fucking San Jose.
Got to get
bullshit comes in here, and he's gonna have a T-shirt, soda stick, and wait a minute.
just overdosing on like vitamin E or something that's going to help the hair grow in a little faster, a little cleaner.
It is not clean. I like it. My younger brother used to make hot pads. I grew up in Edina. These like little patchwork hot pads, and he would sell them. God, that's weird. I got to give him shit about that. But that's what it is. It's the weirdest. His mustache is interlocked like this. It is not just like this guy's growing.
It looks like he's never washed it.
I don't know what it looks like.
Like a
It really,
dreadlock.
rubber cement and barber hair is all I can think of. Hey, how's the water in your home? Like, do you feel like you have a clean? When you're drinking water, I know you mentioned your family. Do you feel like you've provided them an ideal water situation in your house? Before you answer that, hold on.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to ask him, do you at home? Okay, you're at home now. You got a new house, don't you?
4 years.
It's 4 years now?
Yeah.
You've been there 4 years?
Yeah.
So there's probably some maintenance that you have to do from time to time.
Yeah, getting close to
Hey,
that.
just go with it, Pross. Just go with it.
Yeah, okay.
The pain's going to be over in a minute.
Do you monkey with any of it? Like, do you get your furnace cleared out, your AC fired up? You do that yourself?
Yep, he does.
Yep.
Oh, man, you got to leave your critical home systems to the pros. Don't make a mistake. Call Aquarius Home Services, man. They'll take care of you. Well, and it doesn't matter. All your home's critical systems, anything in your utility room, whether it's your plumbing, your heating, air conditioning. Let's say you need a new water softener because you find that the water's doesn't soften that beautiful hair you're hiding under that hat. Just needs a good soap. The soap lasts a lot longer. It's a lot better when the water is soft. Call Aquarius Home Services. They'll take care of you. They earn the right to be recommended. I know I use them. Kinger uses them. Hey, 4-year-old house.
Gotta try.
4-year-old house. They're going to come over. They're going to respect it. They're going to put blue booties on. They're going to be there when they say they're going to be there, and they're going to take care of you.
Pross actually told me when he walked in, I really had never met him before, but he's like, "Hey, I'm looking for a new water softener." Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Just hold on a sec. We're going to do a podcast.
Keep it holstered.
Yeah.
Homes run better with Aquarius.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would be less, I think, insecure about your water softener.
Okay. So we do have some water stains on our glasses.
Do you?
After,
Really?
A rinse, yeah.
He's got water stains on his glasses.
Ooh, on your glasses. Yeah, they'll take care of that. They've got you covered, man.
Okay.
See how the advertising is just integrated into the podcast? It's like people listening at home are like, was that just, that was fun. That was fun.
Was that a commercial?
Did somebody pay for that? Yeah. I'm going to binge this. I'm binging Aquarius's ad reads.
Yeah.
Do you want to do college now or you want to go somewhere else?
Yeah. But last one on Aquarius, they are running a special on furnace AC tune-ups, $55 Pross. Even you can afford that one. You can't beat that. So as spring rolls in, we're closing down on winter. I know it's snowing today, but if you need your AC tuned up, $55, call Aquarius. I don't think you can beat that.
Matt Dumba's original number, 55. If the story you hear about 55. Him changing it, did you ever heard that it looked like dumbass?
Yeah.
Kind of did.
But have you ever heard him talking about that?
No, never have.
So do you think that's like a Richard Gere gerbil story, or is that like a real thing?
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, when he first signed, you see the Dumba and then the 55 where it's, it looks like two S's. We're like, that's kind of an odd number to choose.
This is something we need to follow up on.
Well, that's what I'm going to roast you on right now.
Why?
Because clearly you don't consume the stuff I do for Posted Up in the Minnesota Wild because I just sat down with Matt Dumba. And he does talk about that.
Oh, he does?
Yes.
What did he say about it?
Well, he said that the way.
Or do you want people to watch? Maybe you just want to. Do you want to maybe have Gabe put a link in?
Yeah, do that too. But no, so the way it worked was he was a rookie, and as a rookie, you always get like a number like in the high 40s, 50s, 30s. 60. Like you'll get like 63, 39.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I just rocked with it. Yeah. So dumb.
A lot of guys just stick with it.
Yeah, I know.
David Back is 42. He just stuck with it.
Yeah.
Guys just stick with it. I think Spurge was the same, 46.
Yeah, 46, yeah.
That's his rookie number, and he's just like, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
So Dumbo was 55. And he was a top draft pick. And the way he understood that and the way they described it to him was that 55 is a legit pretty good number. It was Schultz, I believe, before it was Matt Dumba's. And on your back, 55 looks way better than like mine, 52. It's just a better number. It just so happens when they put it on, it said dumb ass, right? So eventually he had to switch it. And then I asked him and he went over to 24 for Kobe and somebody else. So yeah, check it out. It's really good.
I'm glad you're doing other stuff on the side, Ryan.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, yeah?
I wish you luck.
Maybe, maybe if you were more entertaining.
All right. College, you were a CC guy?
Yep, CC.
Did you watch the Minnesota teams? You watch the Frozen Four? Do you consume the college
little bit. Not, I didn't go like start to end. I turned it on like that finals game, Mavs and DU. I turned it on third period, good period.
So I went to the Frozen Four in Boston. I'm a big Gopher fan.
Yeah.
We had a pretty sizable wager on this. I have to take a large group of Mavericks to the premiere of the new Top Gun movie called Maverick. Popcorn, Coke freestyle, all the stuff. It's going to be, I'm going to go. It's going to be,
I'm going to get extra butter on my popcorn.
By the way, Mueller, if you know him, he wants to go.
Licorice.
I skate with him. He played at Mankato.
Slushies.
Yeah, slushies. Both flavors.
Twizzlers.
Yeah.
Juji fruits.
Yep.
But a couple things. So you guys are both NHLers. So I see Yzerman at the game. And I don't know why I did this. Right away, Stevie Y.
Yeah.
Just as I walk by him, I say his name loud.
You said Stevie Y to him?
I did. I didn't say it to him. I like yelled it as I walked by him. And literally as I turned around to look where he was on the wall in the bar, he wasn't there anymore. So I don't think he liked that. But I did do a funny thing. Dubas was there from Toronto. And I knew he was looking at Nyes, or that's what it seems like.
Did he wear number 55?
Dubas? That could be good. That might have been on a post it up. But I'm like, every time I would do the lap. Did you guys always do the lap between periods as fans? I guess you were always playing, but as a fan, in between periods, you walk around.
Concourse.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And you just kind of see people and check out the stuff. So every time I would walk the lap, I would see Dubas. And I'm like, I'm having some drinks. I'm like, I'm going to try to be having a conversation about Matthew Nyes that he overhears as I walk by. Yeah. So as I walk by, I go, I'm with my daughter. I go, I just think Nyes needs another year in school. What's the harm? Get better, dominate at the level. And he's just walking by and he hasn't signed yet. I'm telling you, I played a role.
Yeah.
I played a role.
So you want him back here?
Oh, God, yeah. I was shocked. Brock Faber, Stan.
It's remarkable how selfish you are.
I want the national championship. I was looking at those banners. I'm like, pit stain.
Yeah.
Denver's got 8. Now they got 9. Michigan's got 9. I went to BC. We only got 5. Minnesota only 5. The Mavericks, there was no banner up there, but
yeah, but no, like I said, it's remarkable how selfish he is. He wants everything to be about him and his. Oh wait, you didn't go to the Gophers, or
yeah. Did you go to the U of M?
But never mind the young player and his chance at a career and a life in hockey. You just want him to stick around so you can watch him at the Gophers.
I love watching him. He's a man child. Do you see that kid play? Nice.
Yeah. You're changing the subject.
Keep going.
No, I'm just.
I'm selfish. I'm selfish. I'm from Edina. Come on. That shouldn't surprise you.
No, it doesn't.
I want to just tell everyone that listens, your Mavericks, besides the first goal, which was, if there's such thing as a tic-tac-toe goal, I think this was the first Connect 4 goal. That whole the first goal we scored was great. They.
He did say we.
This is turning on me. Hey, Gabe, what are you doing after? Jimmy John's down the street, me and you. The NHLers can go somewhere else. But you just smothered us. I mean, you just beat us. You got a whole bunch of purple people singing the song, ole, ole, ole. It was terrible. Same thing as the year before.
Who traveled better? Like who
Mankato. There was a lot of Gopher fans there. I think Bob has done a good job of putting a little bit of a blue collar on the program, making them a likable team. There was a lot of Gopher fans out there, but Mankato traveled better. I was at the Greatest Bar. Greatest Bar has 5 levels. Fun place. You guys had the first 2 levels. You had signage, pull-up banners, purple everywhere. And you also had a section in the lower deck, which it was all purple, almost like you would see at a normal home game. Yeah. Gopher fans were there, but they were all randomly in the crowd places. You guys had like a whole section lower level. And yeah, you traveled super well. I think you traveled better than all 4 teams, actually.
Wow. When you went to CC, was Denver like your biggest rival?
Yeah.
So like what were those games like? World Arena and what was Denver's?
Magnus. Yeah. We played for a gold pan. That's what they called it. Just that rivalry that we played each other 4 times. There's always a home and home and then home and home. And the winner, whoever went 3-1 or 2-1-1, got the gold pan. Yeah. So it was, there were usually some bloodbaths going on there, because Denver was the school that mainly all of us wanted to go to for the most part. Yeah. Because they have that, like I said, the 9 championships. Yeah, and we all knew that. And all their players go beyond. I mean, they all, for some reason, Gwozdecki was able to, get all these players to play post college, and CC had some, but not to the extent of DU. But
so Lucia was your coach, right?
No, Scott Owens.
Owens, he had some hair, man.
Yeah.
So are you saying if Marty Surdich was a pioneer, he'd be a 1,000 gamer in the NHL?
He missed his era.
He did miss his era.
When I skated with him, a few times in the summer or before seasons, he's probably one of the more skilled guys I ever played with.
Yeah, he's unbelievable, smart, good. Just it was when the game was huge.
Yeah. It was exactly. It was small guys. It was harder for them to latch on.
Who were the good guys at Denver when you were going through there? Zucker. Was he there?
Yep, Zucks was there, my senior year.
Carl there? He would have been gone by then.
Yeah, I think he was gone. Like Brock Trotter, Chris Butler, who's that goalie?
Yeah.
And
Well,
you-
those guys aren't that. Those, I mean,
That was WCHA.
Yeah, WCHA.
so-
And that was my goal all along. Like growing up, I'm just like, I kind of wanted to take the burden of paying for college off my parents' plate. So my only goal was to be like, I just want to play in the WCHA.
so that you can take private jets at Pebble Beach when you're in your 30s.
Yeah. Tough life. Who were
Don't keep bringing
who were
that
the
up.
most impressive people in the WCHA in your era? Like the Mount Rushmore of people you played against or played with. Who were the best you saw?
Well, that North Dakota was unbelievable in my time. With like, Oshie and Taves and Duncan.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys were pretty crazy. And then, Wheeler, Ryan Stoa, trying to think of the like Wisconsin guys. I mean, there was a line or two on every team. I mean,
Yeah.
WCHA was kind of the
Cream of the crop.
It was
It was great.
Yeah, my era was like Pavelski, Vanek, Taves, Matt Carl.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Yeah.
They were legit.
Yeah.
Like 1,000 gamers.
Yeah. Yeah. I was bummed when the WCHA kind of, split off, but obviously, money went into that and everything along those lines. But the WCHA was definitely cream of the crop.
One thing we didn't have a lot of in college hockey was toughness. There wasn't a lot of fighting.
No.
Not a lot of sticking up for your teammates. Did you see what Hartman? Did you see like what went on?
I thought he
last
was
game?
transitioning to an ad read for me. I was so nervous right there. I'm like, what? How is Bigwood Beer about fighting? I was so.
I'll get you there. I'll get you there. We'll land this plane.
Yeah.
He's just pitting out over there. You're stressed today.
Hartman.
Yeah. What's going on?
Did
with
you see him give the bird to?
I did.
To Evander Kane.
I didn't see why. I just saw like he was getting fined, and I saw or looked up why, and I saw flipping the bird. Why?
Well, first of all, it was one.
Your
versus,
daughters didn't see it though.
it was
No.
That's
Good,
why.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. It was 1-5, so it was just like a little after a whistle, maybe offside, right at the blue line. Kane was, I think he was originally pushing, or Kirill was with somebody else, and Kane comes over and gives Kirill a little shot, and then it was like he kicked a hornet's nest, and everybody on the ice came over. Hartman wanted a piece of him, and the linesmen were pulling them apart. They eventually separate, but the linesman was in the middle, so they couldn't fight, and the linesman's pulling Hartman off. And
Did Hartman want to fight him?
Oh yeah, he gives him the bird. Yeah, but the comments post game were probably the best. They're still taking shots at each other.
Really?
Yeah, and Hartman's saying, "Hey, listen, Kirill had 5 guys around him. I didn't see. There was 4 other guys on the ice for Edmonton. Nobody came running in to grab a single soul. Says a lot about that guy." And the same thing, like, if I get fined, it's well worth it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, and this is where I'll give Kane credit. Like it has to be hard for him to play in the NHL right now.
I think there's a ton of stuff coming out right now.
Oh yeah.
Have you? My wife follows his ex-wife,
Whatever.
yeah,
Wherever they're at.
yeah. I don't even know where they're at, but
This is good.
she's exploding the internet with
goodies?
with the dirt. Yeah,
I went through an Instagram story, and Instagram, how like the stories up on top, however many there are, like the bar is like this long, and then it slowly shrinks. You can't even see hers look like little dots because there's so many Instagram stories.
Well, I gotta follow
screenshots.
this.
Yeah.
You know her name by any chance?
Just go on Ryan Hartman's Venmo and you can track it, because she donated.
Oh, that's right.
She
What?
donated money, 200 bones
To pay his fine.
and
No
says
way.
it's a vibe. Or,
no
yeah,
way,
something like that.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah, so
that's
it's like-
hilarious.
I know.
Oh.
I know.
Yeah, it would be hard for him. I think
Right. And he's still performing. Like, he's playing and playing well.
Yeah.
And the other thing I'll say that he does really well, you know what you didn't hear after that Edmonton game at all, was how bad Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl were. Zero pressure on those guys right now.
Yeah.
And it's not that the pressure isn't there. It's just that all the attention is on Evander Kane. They get absolutely spanked by the Wild.
Yeah.
And Evander Kane is the headline.
Yeah.
Right. And all he did was stand on the blue line and give Kirill a tiny little shove.
And what did he say post game? What were his remarks?
Well, and this is why I thought, man, this must be hard for him. He knows, and he's getting poked and prodded for quotes all the time. So he goes out and he says something to the effect of, hey, Ryan Hartman's, he's lucky that we didn't get separated. There's a linesman there. All these guys are tough after the whistle. He's thankful to something to the effect that, and this isn't verbatim, but to the effect that they got 2 and 10. So that was the rest of the game, because Ryan Hartman can't hold a candle to me in terms of toughness. And then he goes, that's your quote. And then is like, that's it. So he knows that he's a quote machine. He knows that he has to do this. He knows that he has to say that, but he still has to go out and perform and play.
Yeah.
And if you're management for Edmonton, it probably is valuable for them to have that guy on their roster, because they're a one-trick pony. It's McDavid and Draisaitl. Yeah. And if those guys don't perform, you can't win. So instead of the narrative out of that game being how the Wild absolutely
shut down those two.
Dominated.
Yeah.
McDavid and Draisaitl, not just in this game, but in the series. Yeah. I think they have a combined 3 points in 3 games.
Wow.
Yeah, they're both 100 and some point guys. So
they score 2 points a game.
Yeah, they're under their average by a ton against the Wild. So the Wild just absolutely shut them down. Nobody says a word about it because Evander Kane got flipped off.
Did they run the grief line on those two?
They ran the grief line on them, but I think the more thing...
Are they on the same line?
The thing that Everson does, they don't start on the same line, but I think they always end on the same line.
Yeah.
And then the only time they got the point...
Crosby.
Yeah.
And then that screws their bench up. There's a ton to that. So then they're on the power play and they play 2 full minutes on the power play.
Yeah.
And their power play is good. But all of a sudden now it takes them like 3 or 4 shifts to get back into their line sequence and get things rolling again. And that team's like always chasing it. They're like always spinning. And then eventually they just get to a spot where it's like, just stay together, go.
Yeah.
I think. And then it costs them in the end.
Who would they line up with them?
Well, Dean Evison loves to match the grief line against other teams' top lines, but he's also always said that I don't care
as look between my man breasts.
I don't care as much about the forwards that I match against. I like to get these guys out against them, but I like to get my D matched. And he wanted Brodin out there against McDavid because like the only set of boots that can keep up with McDavid and just like a shadow him.
For sure.
And he did. It was awesome.
Is Broads with Dumba?
Broads is usually with Dumba.
Yeah.
And I think he had Kulikov this time because Dumbs is hurt.
Okay, Kulikov must have played pretty well then.
Yep. And then it was Merrill and Jordy Ben. So the Wild blue line is banged up.
Goligoski?
Goligoski.
Okay.
And so how much money did Hartman raise so far through this Venmo deal? Because fans are also paying for his fine, and there's a song about it, I guess.
So that's coming out this morning. Yeah, I don't know how much he's raised. He's donating the money to something he said
charity,
yesterday.
right?
Yeah, that he's gonna figure it out and decide today. But how about the Minnesota Wild absolutely getting behind this guy and what at 4,250, well worth it.
Yeah.
And everybody's just chipping in $10 here and there. And some of the quotes that I saw come out of there are awesome.
Also, just Ryan Hartman having Venmo is just cool too.
And just accessible.
Like kind of unexpected. Like, what is he just doing the credit card game and flipping it on the Venmo
account?
When he's at Santa's pub in Nashville, he's Venmoing you after.
So I have a quick question for you. 4,250. What would you spend that money on?
Well, hold on a second.
I know how many Big Wood beers do you think you can buy for $4,250?
Here's what I would do, Ryan. Spring is here.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
And I would be looking to have a day-long celebration if I had that amount of money sent to me. So, and I like, there's a lot of beer, but I like a beer of the moment. Like something that's limited. And there's one called Big Wood Kolsch. And it has 2 dots over the O like Motley Crue has over the U.
That's cool.
So Saturday, April 23rd, my birthday's on the 25th. Kirill's birthday's on the 26th. It's always about me. It's selfish. There's going to be a Big Wood Kolsch event. They're going to tap the keg at noon. Live music, food from 5 to 8. I love that. We're going to tap the keg at noon, and then the live music and food comes at 5. So that should be about right. Get 5 hours in there. And then this is what he told. I asked about. I said, tell me a bit about the new beer. He says, traditional German style Kolsch. Are you German?
I am.
See, farmer, German, that'll quench your thirst on the warmer days ahead. Originating in Cologne, Germany. That's also where Draisaitl's from. Yep. Kolsch beers are traditionally light in color and malt character, yielding a mellow, vinous character with his How's this going? Which is accompanied by a slightly dry, crisp finish. One sip and you'll say, that hits the spot. Big Wood Brewery, April 23rd. You know what you're doing. Is that the right date?
You know
April 23rd.
You know what I like about that?
Saturday, April 23rd. Carts. We're all going.
There's a lot of days mixed in there, and it's super confusing because you had to drop your birthday in there. So it's the 23rd, not the 25th that we need to be
and
there.
he dropped Kaprizov's.
Yeah, we're going to get 26. To Kirill. But so just to make it clear for the sponsor, Saturday, April 23rd is the only day that
they
mattered
celebrate
in the
my
last,
birthday,
in the last
25th.
minute. Don't bring it up again. April 23rd, Saturday. Kolsch is the beer. Can I ask you about the Russian?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I got a story about Cologne, Germany.
Really? Good.
Yeah, so I played you ever played in the World Championships?
No.
So I played the World Championships in Cologne, Germany. And one thing I like about it is that they have like a city beer. And that's like the only beer in the city. So if you if you were to go and ask for like a Budweiser, they're like, no, you just ask for a beer, and it's like the local Kolsch. So that's the only beer you drink.
You can't drink another beer in city limits?
Well, you can, but that's like the beer that's on tap absolutely everywhere.
That's great.
Yeah, and then you would go to the next city, and it'd be like a different beer. It'd be that city's beer.
I like that.
Yeah, no, it was awesome.
That is cool.
So we ended up having. And it was fun in Germany. It really was, having a bunch of beers, driving through the city. They have courtyards, and
having a bunch of beers.
We had a bunch of beers
driving through the city.
We had one guy. We had one guy pass out at a table, drooling, and they would continue to serve us beer.
That's great. Was that your Ovechkin moment in that tournament?
It was that tournament.
And what was that again? What happened with you and him?
Well, nothing. We beat the Russians like 7-1, and they got sent home with a pee-pee whack while we partied in the
but
basement.
You were both player of the game, so you got to stand there when you just beat him?
He was the player of the game, losing 7-1?
He was the Russian player of the game. He must have scored the goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were the U.S. player of the game, and you had just beaten them, and so he had to sit there awkwardly and do the photo op while you were about to go drink city beer.
Right. And
that's awesome.
Did you guys win
I'll
it?
have to show you the picture. I think we didn't win the game. Or we didn't win the tournament. No.
But you beat the Russians.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, beating the Russians 7-1, you guys must have had a team.
We sent them home. It was so great. We were staying in the same hotel, and they all had to like walk out in single file line and all sad.
Yeah.
But so I'll have to show you the picture. We win, and I still have my game face on because I was like, I'm going to out game face Ovechkin in this photo right now. And we're both sitting there with our watch because you get a watch for being player of the game.
Sweet.
Photo, game face. Yeah.
Did his watch have a tinted shield on it where you could still see the time, but
he's got to hit like the background light to be able to see the time.
I like that. Hey, so the other Russian, the Wild have a team calendar, and this month Kirill is in the photo for April, probably because his birthday is on the 26th.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the Big Wood event on the 23rd.
23rd, and then yours on the 25th.
And my 25th, yeah. So Kirill and I think, are both Tauruses. But they're doing this promo. I think it's already sold out. It's just the best. So you get a T-shirt. I'm trying to think what else you get. I think maybe you get some Kirill bucks or something, maybe not. But and they're basically selling a promo pack where I think you get your picture taken on the ice before the game, and you go watch this Arizona game on Kirill's birthday. And I don't know if that restaurant Moscow on the Hill is still open, but I think I'm going to really maybe celebrate Kirill's birthday. Do you think you could get borscht made for us? Borscht.
Yeah.
Do you think you could talk to the cook and get like one little thing and we put it on a hot stove somewhere?
I feel like it should be a huge thing.
What are you doing for Kirill's birthday? Do you have plans to celebrate with your family?
I should. I should start thinking of something, but I don't as of yet.
What do you think of this guy coming in? This, like, having been a Wild player, it seems like there's never been a player like this before. But maybe I'm underestimating.
For sure not.
What's your take on watching him emerge on the scene?
Pretty unbelievable. The two games I have gone down, watching TV and then going down and seeing it live is completely different. And I tell that to every neighbor that I see, is like, if you really want to see just the skill level of certain guys or the speed, you got to get down to the game. Let's get down to the XL. So those two games I went down, I saw Zuccarello do a drop pass in neutral zone. He popped the puck up in the air and stick handled the puck while it's in the air. I mean, just the skill level and the thoughts that are going through his head to make these certain plays are out of this world. I think definitely there's been no wild player like this. I mean, got people bring up Marion Gabrick, but he's a different.
He was straight line speed that could bury.
Yeah.
This
guy's, strong. He cutbacks in the corners, making crazy passes. I mean, shoots the puck like a man.
Somebody sent me a clip. They were at the game and they kind of ISO cammed him. I don't know why they were just filming him, but if you watch this clip, it was like Earl Campbell. There's guys just dragging on him. He's getting knocked down. He gets back up like as fast as he gets knocked down. Yeah. And he's, it looks like a running back with people trying to tackle him going to the net and just no problem. I mean, he's thick. Yeah. He's built for playoffs, I think. I think Tarasenko had like a minute where he was like Kirill that way, where he was just kind of thick and skilled. And,
he's thick too.
But it seemed like Tarasenko's window, I hope Kirill's window is much longer, but that's the only thing that I've seen like it.
Yeah. So Kinger's a little older than us. He's talking Barry Sanders, our era. Like Earl Campbell. Sorry, man. April 20th.
So Earl Campbell was a football player. There was a team called the Houston Oilers. And that was at a time when there were a bunch of oil. Like oil was something people used to drive cars.
Yeah.
Oh, not batteries?
That's like a Tesla.
Not batteries.
But it's a
combustible engine.
I want to show you this clip. You talk for a little bit, so this isn't bad radio or whatever we call this, but I do want to show a defenseman this clip because it is.
You need to stop talking for me to start talking about something. No, I want to talk to you about the identity of the Wild. I don't know if you watch a lot, but have you ever been on the club or seen the club where like one line together like absolutely sets the identity, like the grief line? So the Wild they're going through a little spat with the injury bug right now. Yeah. Some of the D are out and they've been able to just like not miss a beat. Yeah. But now Jordan Greenway's out and that's one of the guys on their like identity line. Yeah. And together when those three are not together, it's like a completely different hockey club. So he's going to be out for, I don't know how long. He left last game. Can you ever remember like a line or a club where it's like these guys are together? The last I can recall is probably Vancouver with the Sedin brothers, like those two guys and like Burroughs, just straight identity line. Without it, they're just a different hockey club altogether. But I think the Wild are going to miss, and we'll see what happens without Jordan Greenway over the next little while.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy watching that line. I really can't think of another line like that with all like the size that they have. I mean, they're all kind of men amongst boys.
The only thing I can think of, and I'm pumping my own tire again, but 2006-07, like the Ducks had one of the best shutdown lines I think ever constructed. It was Sammy Paulson, Rob Niedermeyer, and Travis Moen.
Yes,
and they were great. And they could score only because...
I love the Ducks. Yeah, so when you say that, I remember watching those guys.
They could counter. So the other team's top line would eventually get frustrated and they'd turn the puck over, they'd counter, and they'd score like just a pedestrian hockey goal, like a normal goal. But they didn't have like skill kind of like these guys do or like the heaviness to be able to hold pucks in the offensive zone and play. So this line, I think, is even more exceptional. They can shut down. I think they've only given up like 5 goals, 5-on-5 all year.
Insane. Like I was watching when I was down there, I saw Greenway coming down on his offhand, on his backhand, put the puck through the defense. It was a one-on-one. I mean, you don't beat a defenseman one-on-one in the NHL. No. You do one-on-one drills, all the forwards are like rolling their eyes like, I mean, what are we going to do with this puck? Like hopefully just get a shot from the blue line. But he put the puck through the defenseman's stick and, made the play. I think he might have even scored. It was like a great move. I mean, the skill level on those three guys as well is something to be, for the Wild to hang their hat.
Shouldn't be understated.
Yeah. And then, the addition of, I was going to bring up Fleury. I mean, how good is that healthy competition for their goalies?
Right? It is healthy right now, which is the amazing part to me is that it's not toxic. And again, I think that illustrates probably the
personalities of those two.
Yeah, and the vibe in the locker room.
Yeah.
Like almost like if you're swimming against the current, you're going to get booted off the boat.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I've heard really good things about Fleury. I don't really know Talbot at all, but I've heard Fleury's a great, kind of stand-up guy.
And they go back and forth, and everything's good right now. Everybody's winning, so it's all good. Everybody's numbers are good. Yeah. But Yeah, I think for me, I still do believe that that's going to be the biggest challenge is for the coaching staff and everybody to massage this goaltender situation into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it just feels like Billy wants Flower to be the guy. You know, I don't know what. Maybe I'm linking that back to Pittsburgh when he won the cup, or making this trade at this time. You know,
well, he does have the experience to go on a run. You know,
well, that's why I think it's going to be the hardest thing, because now is there always going to be that thought in somebody's mind where I have to play perfect, otherwise I'm out. You know, and then all of a sudden you make imperfect mistakes, and you're like, gosh, dang it.
My only perspective to being a GM is being fantasy hockey, which I'm terrible at. But if you make a big trade to get a goalie, you would always put that goalie in your starting lineup for fantasy, or it's like, why did you make the trade then?
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know, man. That might be
like a fantasy football. You trade for a running back. I mean, you got to play the guy.
I'm curious. Just watch this. You'll notice it's only like 30 seconds, but it is unbelievable what's happening to Kirill. I just want to hear your take as a D. It takes like a couple seconds for him to emerge, but the amount of abuse he's getting and fighting through, it's unreal.
Pross has no sympathy for the abuse he's getting. He used to dish that out left and right, cross checks.
It looks like a halfback.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, he is strong as an ox. Do you see that play that he got a pass up to his shin pads? He was able to put that puck on his tape and make a move on the goalie and almost score. I mean,
strong as an ox. I like that. We got to really think about Kirill's birthday with your kids too. Okay. So it's worth spending some time.
Just to think of him and talk about him, and
or just maybe do a coloring contest. You know, like, hey, each of you can do a Kirill picture, and they're all winners.
Yeah.
I've seen some stuff on the gram where like he plays mini sticks with Spurgeon's kids and everything. I mean, he embraces all that. I think that's why everybody loves him so much too. The guy can just play, but he's also like # one of us. You know, like a normal dude.
Because to your point, when you were talking about him stick handling and what must be going on in his brain, I think he's just giggling.
Yeah.
Cause he's always kind of laughing.
Yeah.
I think he just sits there I think it's kind of easy to be Kirill.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a lot of different stuff going on there. Hey, you said one of my favorite things of all time about being a Vikings fan. You said the only place to watch him is through your neighbor's window. Yeah. And that has a lot to do with why we started this podcast, because we want to change the culture of Minnesota sports.
You big Vikings guy.
Break the mold. I watch them.
Yeah. All right.
They hurt me. But I was telling Ryan, I'm always, even now, I'm like, if I were to talk about growing a playoff beard, I always would add to the sentence, you know, unless we don't make the playoffs, unless something bad happens and we don't, you know, knock on wood or whatever you would do as a Minnesotan. But did you feel that as a player? Like, could you tell we had nervous Nelly fans, or could you tell like, or do you see a change with this group where like Minnesotans might believe that we can be Minnesota, that we can win the cup or whatever? Do you feel anything in the air?
Yeah, I mean, I think there is always nervousness in the air with all Minnesota sports. And I don't know if that's ever going to like break until someone breaks through.
We're breaking it. We're breaking it.
Well, if they win the Stanley Cup, it's going to be broken. You know,
we got work to do with the young man.
You do. Like I don't know. Just, you know, the Timberwolves. They, you know, just their run of being a terrible team. You know, although now they're, you know, in the playoffs, and you know, the Vikings always breaking your heart. You know.
Yeah. What's harder, having a good team that breaks your heart, or having a terrible team that you know is bad? You know what I mean? Like the Timber Pups, good. And what has probably fueled Minnesota's, you know, I'm going to keep you at arm's length kind of mentality. I think it's more the teams that are good. Like the Vikings they're supposed to have been good over the last, I don't know, 6-8 years. Yeah. And then they just let you down in the biggest of moments.
Untimely fumble, or there's going to be a missed field goal, or, you know, just like it's something where it's like, oh my gosh, like, did that really just happen? Yeah. Something like that. Exactly. Or a Favre throwing that interception
across his body.
Yeah.
I got it all.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
do you think we can get you all in on Minnesota sports again now? Like what people are saying in Minneapolis is that this podcast has fueled a lot of the success for the Timberwolves, because people and fans are listening and they're starting to believe in the club, and the energy in Target Center. Is changing.
I turned on that game for a little bit. The fans were really into it. Like it looked like a kind of a good atmosphere to be a part of at Target Center.
And,
maybe you're building that.
And yeah, exactly. It is us.
The people are walking a little taller.
Yeah. They're understanding that
puffing their chests out a little bit.
The energy in the building affects the way these players play. So bring your A game. Yeah. Be positive.
You believe
don't
that,
be
right?
Don't be biting your nails the last 2 minutes with a 1-goal lead. Be celebrating.
No, but Wild fans are, I mean, we felt that once playoffs came around, there was a different vibe. Yeah. I mean, the building really got amplified. Yeah.
I'm so nervous for playoffs. I'm so nervous.
I'm
not even going to games right now because I'm just like.
Is that why you're pitting out? You thinking about the playoffs right now?
Gabe reassured me that you wouldn't be able to see the pits on the lighting.
Yeah. Well, maybe you're gonna have to put that shirt in like a plastic bag. And
I mean, who's the optimal first round opponent of the Wild?
Not Nashville.
See, it doesn't matter. We don't have to go optimal. It doesn't matter if you're a Wild fan. It doesn't matter. You got to beat the best to be the best.
There we go.
Bring it on.
Let's go.
But it looks like it's going to be St. Louis or Nashville.
Blues.
A lot of people, the Minnesota way right now is stressing that it's going to end up being Nashville because Nashville's kind of had their way. Well, I think one of the 2 games you went to was the Nashville game, Mikko's night.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of the game that night?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nashville's the better team.
Yeah.
On home ice.
Yeah.
And big night for Mikko and for the organization, and they just kind of slapped us in the mouth.
Yeah.
And then the same thing happened just last week. It looked like everything's going to be good down there in Bridgestone Arena. While they're playing really good, they go out, they beat Carolina, Washington back-to-back. They get a day or 2 off, and then all of a sudden Bridgestone, boom, smacked in the mouth again. So it's kind of like, man, I think what surprised people with that Nashville game is the Wild at the deadline went out and they overnight became the toughest team in the NHL. The 3 most majors in the NHL on the squad. That's Delorier, Foligno, and Middleton. I think it was like 11, 10, and 9 for those guys. So they're the Mount Rushmore of toughness. And Nashville punched them right back. Went toe-to-toe with them.
Wow.
Yeah, Nashville caught them by surprise.
Wow.
Nashville most majors as a team.
As a team.
Yeah, they're number 1?
Yeah, as a team.
Yeah, that one, the rookie gets a ton.
Janot.
Yeah.
Janot, and then they got the Borowicki.
Yeah.
Yeah, they scare the hell out of me.
Did you see the cross check Malkin gave him?
Yeah, right in the teeth.
Yeah.
I think he didn't have any teeth to begin with, so I don't know what was bleeding.
I know. That was ruthless.
That was ruthless.
Just on toughness, so Delorier's nose is like basically all cartilage or whatever, right?
Yeah. That was my boy, Sealer, that fought him. Right?
Yeah.
That was
tough.
He's tough as nails.
Seals.
Like those guys he'll eat a punch, but he's going to, yeah.
I know, man.
You're going to eat it. You're going to eat it back.
I was here. I think I was still playing when he had his first fight here, and he went toe to toe with somebody.
Witkowski.
Where was that? Was it against Detroit?
Yep. Yeah. Luke Witkowski, tough, thick neck, comfy fighter, and
comfy fighter.
He just goes toe to toe, like complete disregard for defense. It's all offense. Punch.
I was on the ice. That was a deep partner. My jaw was dropped. I'm like, you guys aren't moving your heads at all. You're not trying to avoid anything.
I know.
I hate him.
I know.
That's what Sealer. I mean, he's tough. I mean, he's a team first guy that, Flyers struggling. He's like, all right, like.
So he fights Delorier. And he goes about it the same way.
Yeah.
And I remember telling him, like, hey, like maybe just tuck your face into your shoulder so they don't all go right off your face.
Yeah, he's an animal.
Unbelievable.
When he was on Minnesota, they used to not play him at the end of games because he would snap show. Like he would just, if it was that garbage time last minute, it was just, he was on the bench.
Yeah.
He couldn't take a shift because he would do something.
But Delorier's nose.
So I think he had a broken nose when he came to the team, and he's gotten in a lot of fights since he arrived. So he's never had a chance to.
Does he have a lot of fights since being here?
Yeah.
2 or 3.
Okay,
yeah. But right away. So like if his nose was hurt, he was like fighting right away. I want to get him well for the playoffs. We have to put posts in there, or like I want to, because even if he wins the fight, if he's bleeding all over because his nose is like drywall. That's not a good look. It's not a good look. Like we need to get some mortar in there.
So they had the team picture.
I want to make sure he's well for the playoffs, so that because if he wins the fight but he's all bloody, I almost feel like the other guy can be like, yeah.
So
So he's got to fix that nose.
Who won the fight with Sealer and Delorier? It was probably pretty even, right?
Yeah, they both had busted
but Sealer
faces.
went to the
he
penalty
looked
box,
fine.
and Delorier was bleeding everywhere.
I
And
know.
It's like,
We
it looked
can't
like
have-
Sealer
we-
won the fight, but
Yeah.
it actually was. I think they both ate 5 to the chops.
That was a heavyweight bout. That
No
one goes
blood.
to decision.
No
That's
blood if
not
you're
like,
Delorier. He's our alpha, ace of spades. He can't be bleeding.
So they had the team picture like 2 days after that one, and he had shiners on both sides. And after the photo, we're just sitting there, and he's like, yeah, every team, every photo, every year, shiners. And we start talking about his nose, and he's like, yeah, you can blow on it and break it now. He's broken it so many times,
Oh
you know?
my gosh.
And I was like, yeah, that's how I feel about mine. There's fault lines in it now. So like whenever you get touched, it just breaks in the same spots.
No, we can't have that.
Yeah. So
Is it
There's
illegal to put posts in your nose?
posts.
Like put some metal in there, build some structure back.
Hold on, call a timeout before the fight, and then go put some of those. You
No,
ever see
like
the
we have
gauze
what?
things that
We
the
have
gauze
3
things that go
weeks.
up the beak, right? Just stick a couple in there just for some structural integrity.
Yeah.
He can't be bleeding out. That's our guy.
So you can't have the Wild's toughest guy
No.
bleeding.
Mm-mm.
That just hurts you.
I think so.
All right,
Because it makes it look
I think
like
blood
you.
looks
It
tough.
makes it look like you didn't win the fight.
but I think blood looks tough.
Yeah, if he got slashed or he was, I don't know. If you're in a fight and you go to the bench and it looks like you're just covered in blood, that's tough.
Yeah, but let's say you did have an accident or something like that where you did break your nose. Nate, have you ever
Okay.
broken yours?
No.
You know who you should call if you need like insurance or coverage?
If
on
you
stuff
do,
like
it's
this?
going to be unbelievable. By the way,
You should call Andy Headland or reach out to him at thehockeyagent.com. He's a hockey player. He was in Boston with you, as a matter of fact.
I didn't see him.
Yeah.
I coach with him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Our girls are on the same Fury team in the summer.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's a hockey guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. State Farm agent. So if you get see, he's a good guy too. He's not selling you. If you get your rates raised or you buy a new car, you say, you know what? I've got this nice new house. I just had Aquarius over and I want to make sure everything's insured in tip-top form. You got to call Andy Headland. He's the guy for you. You can reach him at 763-537-4949. He'll cover you like Ryan Hartman covers Kirill Kaprizov.
See how he mixed Aquarius in there? But he doesn't get any crap about that. That was confusing, right? He's doing the other read. He
Were you
put the
State
other
Farm
brand in there.
Aquarius? Yeah.
Kirill's birthday, my birthday, Bigwood's thing.
If
We both need more
if-
focus
if-
on these
if-
ad reads. More focus.
If we need to get like a fan or a furnace to dry up the pits in your arms right now, that's cool. We can call Aquarius for that too.
A couple thoughts for you. Do you believe the Mavericks beating the Gophers made Ben Myers join the Avalanche?
Why? I'm
Just
not tracking.
I don't know. He's like, Denver wins it all. You
Sides
have
with
that
the
bad
Avs.
third period. He's seeing I would do the stick salute, but you would see my armpits. But he's like, Colorado's where winners are. He's been listening to our podcast, but he goes out to Boston and Denver wins it all. And then he decides to sign with the Avs.
Yeah.
Do you take any responsibility for that?
No, I'm not tracking that at all.
No? Okay. I just want to talk about Duhaime real quick before we're done. This guy really seems like he's scrapping to keep some attention on him, like stay relevant. A lot of new players getting in fights after we score. I don't believe I've ever actually seen that. What do you do? Is that good? Is that a guy that in the playoffs will just do anything?
Well, I think he's desperate. The writing's on the wall. The Wild are a deep club. There's guys waiting in the wing. I think even Bugsted's come back and played well. So I think all of a sudden where he was comfortable in the middle stretch of the year and felt like his job was secure to now it's like, oh man, like Sturm being traded, this maybe won't last forever. And I got to get back to playing desperate hockey. And I think he's playing desperate hockey again is really what it comes down to.
I mean, you don't want to be number 13 going into the playoffs, right?
No. Yeah. You don't. And that's when let's just say for a guy like that, that's when you make your money. If you have an impact in games like that, that's how you solidify yourself. You got to be good during the first 82, but in the playoffs is where you earn probably the respect and the loyalty of management and coaches. if you show up in those times.
I mean, those are the times where you should get paid.
I'm going to battle with this guy. This is the guy I want on my bench.
Guys who perform playoffs deserve to get paid.
Right.
You know, like if your numbers are good in playoffs and they're average in regular season, I still think like you perform during the right time where intensity's ramped up, everyone's playing at that higher level. Like you deserve it.
It's all that matters. I just think on the flip side, though, he does seem like a guy that would do anything.
Yeah, like maybe a little bit too desperate.
Like anything. Like I was talking to Ryan. I'm like, if Dean was like, hey, there's 2 competing grocery stores in my town. One of my buddies is the manager of one of them. Let's just say it would be better for everyone if the other grocery store went away. I think the next day it's smoldering and 21's driving away in his car. I mean, so maybe that's good, useful in the playoffs. You need a guy to do something.
But how important are they, like these entry level guys been to
the Wild? Yeah, they've been important, and so have the depth guys. So the way the playoffs usually shake out is your top 2 lines kind of offset. It's a battle between them, and each one's maybe going to get their point any given night. And then it's your depth and your younger guys. If they step up and they make the difference, oftentimes that's the difference between winning a series and losing a series. Yeah, just go straight stats. The top guys, I mean, it's pretty close, and it's the depth that really separates. So that's why depth is important. That's why everybody loves it. And they say, oh, it's so great during the regular season, but it's in the playoffs when it really matters. I got a couple quick things that I want to finish with, and you can think of a couple if you want rapid fire questions for the Prossessor before we leave. Prossessor, who gave you that nickname? Is that Bruno?
Yeah,
that's
Bruno,
a great nickname.
Or Darby or
the
something.
Prossessor.
Like, yeah. Bruno would always say it and have his big booming laugh after. Yeah. And then Darby had like Saving Private Prossessor when I was like down in St. Louis. No, I was down in St. Louis. He's like, we got to come behind enemy lines and get you back.
That's
like,
good.
Under the cover of darkness.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so rapid fire questions. Entertainment on the bird. What's your favorite? Are you a cards guy, Netflix guy? Cards. What's the go-to game?
I loved Hold'em. That was kind of my go-to. I loved. It was a buy-in cash game, and I always seem to have some success doing that.
You just slow play them, the Prossessor.
Well, I mean, I was playing for a lot of years. I was sitting across from me with Dan Heatley, next to me Torrey Mitchell, Matt Cook, Tom Gilbert, Devin Setaguchi. I mean, all guys that make $5+ million, and it's like, oh, I'm making $750 or $800,000.
That game is a little different.
Yeah, it was like, and we paid out at the end of the month. Dan Heatley would show up on the plane with stacks of cash. I'm like, I mean, this is I don't think I belong here, but
but I do because I win.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was a Schnarps guy.
Yeah, I love Schnarps is good. 7 up, 7 down was fun.
Yeah.
I started playing that the last few years.
The only thing that stinks about Hold'em is all the turbulence, and you got the chips, and it's just a huge mess.
Yeah, true.
Pross, is there anything in your mind better than a good crop dust on the airplane?
No, nothing better, dude. There's nothing better than a fart.
He just drops a silent one and waits for people to choke.
And then everyone will be looking around. I'm laughing like a schoolgirl. Like I can't hold that in. I cannot hold that.
Who had the most lethal stuff when you played?
Pross did. They're like these sweet little farts. And you
were a big time.
I would breathe in all my kids' diapers throughout the morning, and then my body was just like, all right, I got to get this back out. Like I can't accept this. So I would fart out like my kids' diapers.
Oh my God, sweet potato.
All right. You got Parisi taking you out for dinner on the road. He's buying. Like what city, what restaurant?
Ooh, I love Dallas.
Yeah, what was the
Nick and Sam's?
Oh, Nick and Sam's. You go to the steakhouse?
Yeah.
What was the sushi spot in that nice hotel that we used to stay at? You know what I'm talking about? Was that Tao?
Nobu. Yeah.
That's where I would go.
Yep, Nobu was money.
Yeah, Nobu was good.
Dallas was a great spot for hotel, that Crescent Court.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And
Cold tub, hot tub.
Yeah.
Nick and Sam's.
Yeah.
I like it. You got anything?
Crazy.
Yeah, crazy
like
buying it for you. Like you want it to sting.
Yeah. The bone-in and ribeye.
Yeah, you go the bone-in? That sounds good.
Yeah.
Russ is a big fan of the bone-in.
Yeah.
Best city on the road for a green light.
The green light going out.
Oh, okay.
Like
well, I mean, it's got to be Vegas.
now
I was
it's
with
Vegas.
St. Louis one time. When I stayed out of camp. I signed with them twice. The first time I got put on waivers right out of camp and got claimed back. The next time I stayed for a few months until like December 1st and then got claimed back. But in that stretch, we went to Vegas and had, two nights there, and it was a
great.
Good time.
What's the best rookie party you've been to?
Well, for a stretch there, we did Vancouver almost every year.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a fun time.
Yeah.
I mean, Vancouver's a good city. They have, some great restaurants, great bars. So I'm trying to think of.
We had one in Vancouver where I couldn't eat dinner the next night.
Wow, that's a big one.
I was like, all right.
Your body's that off the next.
No thanks.
Who were your favorite like hot stove guys? Like if you were just gonna sit around and have a beer with anybody that you played with, who was the biggest beauty just to chill with?
I would say Torrey Mitchell. I don't know if you remember Torrey.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, he's just full of life, full of stories. Has three daughters, kind of similar, like just kind of shares life values the way I do. And he's a funny guy. He's got like his own kind of Instagram following now. Have you been seeing all his stuff? Like
he's got the hockey school that he does and stuff, right?
I can't remember the name of it, but him and Swaggy.
It's like Elevate.
Yeah, Elevate 02. Yep, exactly. Yeah.
That's nice. Swaggy P, like the basketball guy?
No, it's Pete Lennis is his name.
Okay.
I played against him in juniors, and you should go look at his hands.
I'll check it out.
Probably the best hands
he's dirty.
in the world. I mean, he's on the ice teaching kids, how to, toe drag around certain pylons. I mean, he does it for hours a day. So his hands are out of this world.
No bucket or bucket in warm-ups, and why?
I like going no bucket. I only did it a few times, and I actually got chirped like the first time doing it. All the guys were like, "Hey, it's Hockey Day in Minnesota. You got to do it now." And I remember skating around the red line, and Rome from Dallas. I can't remember. Aaron Rome.
I played with him.
He got pissed at me. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing over there? You're not old enough. How many games you got?" I'm like, shut up, dude. Like, this is a one-time deal. It's Hockey Day. He didn't know it was Hockey Day in Minnesota.
It's Hockey Day. I'm from Elk River.
I know.
That's great.
But I loved having the bucket off. And then there's a few other times where I did it, maybe like on a birthday or something. But guys are always begging for me to like, keep the bucket off to, show the dome.
Yeah.
But,
the monkey butt.
Yeah. I didn't like to because I lost my hair at such a young age.
If you think of the vantage point of most of the people in the stands there, it's not flattering.
No. But who does it like without even thinking twice is Getzlaff, and he's got no
shiny.
hair. Yeah, shiny.
He's shiny.
Yeah. I know.
I
respect
which tells
that.
me that's not shaved. That's like there's just no hair.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, he's a serious dude.
Greatest stick you ever played with? You have like a favorite?
Easton Synergy.
The Sinbaum?
Yeah.
High school, like the original Sinbaum?
No, it's probably juniors, like the orange one.
Oh, okay.
Psycor. Yes, dude. This guy's a hockey nut.
Kirill guy.
I'm not a stick nerd. They call those Geppettos, like the guys that always has to like get it like every little angle.
See, I'm not like Zach was like that.
Yeah.
I'm not like that. I'm pretty stocked, sack curve, 100 flex.
But you don't care if it was like CCM or Bauer or like you don't care like the wrister from the blue line's the same in either stick.
Pretty much. I seem to just gravitate towards Bauer. I don't know why. Maybe because they gave me the deal. Yeah, maybe
the wife liked it.
Yeah. So Bauer probably was my go-to.
Yeah, cool. All right, that's all I got. Man, thanks for coming in. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Memory lane.
Yeah.
Don't crop dust us on the way out.
I don't want any.
We'll have to shave our teeth. It sounds like I don't want any huggies farts around here. This has been Stanley on 7th. We're breaking the mold. We're going to make the Prossessor believe that we can win the Stanley Cup. We're here.
Till it's here.
Peace.